Hello fellow readers, I'm Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing Pride Month with another reading challenge. This one is to recreate the pride flag with the books I will be reading. So that being said, let's get started. Starting at the top, the first book I will be reading is Love and Other Disasters for Red. This book is mainly a red cover, and so that's why I chose it. I did get this in my January book of the month subscription, and so I've been holding on to this for quite a while and just have not read it yet. This book is all about a cooking show, and one of our main characters is the first non-binary contestant on this cooking show. I think it is a romance as well, so maybe two of these contestants are falling in love with each other, and I am just really excited all around for these vibes. I'm hoping it will be like Great British Bake Off as well as have some Pride Red. The next book for Orange, there was nothing else I could choose than Nothing Burns as Bright as You. Again, a primarily orange cover, hence why I chose it. And this book is all about our two main characters who are ex-best friends who kind of turned into a little bit more. And this is all about what happens after they start to delve into a little bit more of a relationship. The next book I have is Honey Girl. And while this isn't primarily a yellow background, I mean, it does have yellow aspects on it as well as it's honey. Honey is typically a yellow thing, and so I have chosen this as my read for the yellow. This book is all about our main character who went to Vegas and got married to someone completely random without even knowing this other individual. And so it's about what happens then, and I'm hoping that this is really funny and has a cute romance that has a positive ending to it. The next book I am reading for Green is I Kissed Shara Wheeler. This book is all about a girl in high school named Shara Wheeler who ends up kissing 3 people and then she disappears. And so all 3 of these people are banding together to try to figure out what happened to her and why did she kiss us all. For Blue, I've decided on boyfriend material. I've been wanting to read this book for so long, and now is the time that I'm getting to it. I believe they also recently came out with husband material, and so it's about time that I got onto this book. This book is about our main character who is in the spotlight because he has famous parents, and he has gotten himself into a little bit of trouble, and so to repair his reputation he's trying to get into a relationship. So it's got a little bit of fake dating in here, but I'm really hoping that it turns out so cute and that they end up happy together. The next book I am picking up for Violet is Marvelous Light. This book is all about our main character in old-time England, and he is part of this magical society, and his mentor actually dies, and so he's trying to figure out what happened to his mentor and what does this mean for him. And there is a little bit of a rivalry in this magical society between him and another guy, and I am thinking that maybe they have to work together to solve this, and maybe some sparks start flying. So I'm very excited about reading this. It sounds right up my alley. It's gay, it's magic, and it's an old-time England setting. So I'm very excited about reading this one. Then for Brown, I am going to be reading In the Dream House. It was kind of hard finding a book that was a primarily brown cover, so this is as close as I could get. This book is actually a non-fiction book. It's a memoir about domestic abuse in queer relationships. So I'm hoping that this book is going to be insightful and can teach me something, even though it might be kind of hard to read. Next, for Black, I am picking up And They Lived. This book sounds like it is about our main character who loves fairy tales and happy endings, but he doesn't believe that he deserves one. He is in this really hard time in his life. He's dealing with body dysmorphia. He's in this time of his life where he's transitioning from high school to college, so trying to like question and figure out his life, and he's also going after this apprenticeship against his ex-best friend. So a lot's just happening and it's really stressful until he meets the other main character. Is this going to be his happy ever after? I guess we'll see. For Pink, I'm going to be reading Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. This is a little graphic novel all about our main character who is in an on and off again relationship with Laura Dean. And I'm really hoping this is going to be a cute read where she learns about herself and kind of her own worth and gets out of this relationship where she's really not being respected. For Light Blue, I've chosen Aristotle and Dante, Dive into the Waters of the World. This is a stunning cover and I'm just really excited to read it. I read the first Aristotle and Dante like years ago, back when I was in like middle school or high school or something, and I loved it, and so I'm hoping that this resurgence is just as good. Finally, for White, I've chosen Tomorrow Will Be Different. This is a nonfiction book all about trans rights and trans history and kind of what is going on in the world for trans people right now. So I'm really hoping this will teach me a lot about the history and what's going on right now and how I can be my best advocate for trans rights. Here is my list of books that I will be reading for recreating the pride flag. I will come back and let you guys know what I thought about all of them. So I blew through this first book, which was Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. It's a nice, short, little, like, queer graphic novel. I went into it kind of hoping for, like, Heartstopper level vibes, and unfortunately it wasn't quite that. But I know Heartstopper is pretty high expectations, so that's fine. I went into it thinking that, like, okay, it's gonna be like her developing and you know, learning that she doesn't need to be in this relationship, figure out her worth, and you know, prioritizing herself first, which I think she gets there like at the end, but like we actually take the entire book to get there. So you kind of leave on a little bit of a positive note, but it wasn't like as like happy and fulfilling as I was hoping it was going to be. I still think it's like a good story. The artwork was really cute. I love all the pink throughout it. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but it was still pretty good. Okay. This book. Oh God. Okay, so I just absolutely consumed this book in one day. I started listening to this on the drive to work, and I was already tearing up, just like in the foreword from Joe Biden. Like, literally was already tearing up. And then at the end too, like just absolutely tearing up. This book is by Sarah McBride, who actually like is in the politics realm, making a name for herself and everything. So there was like a really interesting perspective that I didn't realize was going to be a thing throughout the entire book. And so like she brings like actual like first person accounts of like what was happening during this time, like what her feelings were. We get like a little sprinkle of like her personal life too, which like my heart. And like really this just like taught me so much about like what was happening like politically throughout this entire time period. And so I thought this was great. I definitely learned a lot. I didn't anticipate it being like memoir story originally going into it, but like I really enjoyed that like first person account of what was happening. It's both like heartwarming, like heart shattering, like literally everything. All of the emotions are here, and it was so good. I absolutely consumed this and was crying like all the way throughout. It was wonderful. Okay, so I just finished this book and it was pretty cute. I was happy with it. I don't think it was my perfect romance, but I think it was definitely like unique and like it was cute. I like liked our two main characters. I liked the cooking like competition setting. I didn't love certain aspects of it, and I think personally I believe like they made this relationship feel like too quirky on the show aspect of it. Um, but like I loved all the like outside of the cooking competition scenes as well, like just them hanging out and like it just felt so like genuine and like pure and cute and like they're adorable. Like look at this cover. They're just adorable. I also just like appreciated the support in this book so much too. Like just how many people were like willing to respect their pronouns and just like just support them as a whole. It definitely like wasn't my favorite romance or like my favorite romance couple by any means, but like I thought it was a really solid story, and like I said, it brought like something new that I hadn't read before. So I did really appreciate it. Okay, so I just finished this book. I was trying to speed through it before I left for my trip. And so this was actually a super quick book. As you can see, it's like kind of written in like poetry format. And this definitely feels like it's for a little bit younger audience, but it made me feel like just the same. Like when I was reading this, like I could actually feel the emotions that the main character was going through and like speaking about. This whole book is kind of like going back and forth between different timelines. So we have like a little bit of the history of like how she met this other woman that she's in love with, how they like went from friends to a little bit more than that. We also go through, there's a fire that happened, and so it's like kind of flipping timelines between those, and you're constantly getting a little bit more information about that. It just really like it had all the emotions. So first like there's this like fire that's happening, so you're like, okay, what is happening? Like, you're feeling the stress of it, you're feeling like what is going on, and like on the other hand you're also like watching or hearing about this beautiful like coming out story of like learning she is interested in women and having her first like relationship with a woman, like coming out to her mom. Like it was just like a beautiful mixture of all these different emotions, and like that plus the way it's written, like it's just so like quick to read, and it just absolutely pulls you in. Like this book, like I said, it just like made me feel all the things. I like felt like I was actually in this situation with the main character, and I think that was so wonderfully done. So this book came out like so much later from like the original one, and so like what I'm looking for in a book and like everything is really changed, and I don't know, I was just kind of disappointed in this one as a whole. Like it's at least like the first book, like they were like really developing, like becoming friends, like all of that fun stuff. And like in this one, like they actually are apart for most of it, which like allows for some like personal growth. But I don't know, it just like didn't hit the same as the first book. And like it might be because like my age, and like maybe I'm looking for something different, or maybe it's because like it wasn't as good as the first one. Like I don't know, or like maybe it's a combination of the both, but I don't know, it wasn't doing it. This book just kind of disappointed me. I don't know if it's that I had like too high of expectations or something, but like the characters didn't like wow me, and like I think the humor or like whatever in this book, like it just wasn't my cup of tea, I guess. I didn't like really enjoy how the like fake dating was like executed in this one. I feel like there were just like a lot of communication errors rather than having some kind of like steamy like side of it. I've definitely read like fake dating done better, and like at no point did I really feel like the two main characters like clicked. Like I want them to like have a cute romance, like that's why I'm here, but like I just couldn't feel it between the two characters. In my opinion, it wasn't like witty and funny, and like the romance didn't even really capture me that much. So like overall it was just like kind of a mediocre read. Again, I had like such high hopes for this. Like literally I'm looking at the back right now, it's like mystery, magic, murder. I'm like, those are all things I love. And so I don't know why this just like didn't do it. I think I liked the idea of the setting, and I liked the idea of the magic, but like the way that it was written, like neither were too compelling. And so it just like left me kind of like lacking some story and like lacking care. I did like the two characters. I thought they were like fun, and I thought they were like cute how they were developed. But yeah, I feel like the magic part of it and the setting were just like kind of disappointing. I was reading this and I was like, it feels like it's just like a worse done like the Infernal Devices series. Like I didn't care about the magic system as much. Like at least in the Infernal Devices you had like different like other types of beings and like the downworlders and everything, and like this just felt like a little flat compared to that. And like the setting, like again, like it just wasn't as compelling. And I don't remember it, like if that's me like just romanticizing like the book that I loved when I was a kid, since like I haven't read it in so long, or if it actually just was better. But like I remember like specifically thinking that. I really don't know like what else to say about this. Like again, I wanted to like it, and like it was fine, but like I wasn't in love with it like I had expected. Like this had such good ratings on Goodreads too. Like I think it was like 4-star something, and I was like, oh, this could be a solid like dunk, like it's gonna be good. And I don't, is it me? Is it just me? Like I don't know. I wanted to like this. I don't know. This was interesting. I am not entirely certain how I feel about it yet. Like I really liked the concept of this book, because it's basically like they're going on a scavenger hunt to find all these letters to find out what happened to Shara. But the main character was like so annoying. And so it's like I liked the idea, but like I don't know. Definitely like wasn't a 5-star favorite or anything, because like the main character. But I thought it was like a fun concept and like made for an interesting book. And let me just say, I think the side characters were the best characters of the book. Like the two other people who were kissed by Shara Wheeler, like their thing is like cute. Whatever they got going on throughout the entire book, like it's cute, and I liked that. Alright, so I just finished this book last night, and it kind of twisted in the middle to something that I didn't expect. Definitely I think I went in with the wrong expectations for this book, because I thought it was going to be like very rom-com heavy, like this person goes to Las Vegas, gets married to some woman that she like doesn't even know. Like I just thought it was the perfect premise for like a rom-com, and it ended up being like actually like a lot of problem solving, and the whole ending was just like her trying to like get therapy and like help herself, which is like definitely a good story, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. So I think it was definitely an issue of me like going in with the wrong expectations for this book. I think this book had like a good meaning, and maybe if I went in with the expectations that it was going to be about that, then like I would have had a better opinion of it. But yeah, I just wish it was like a funny, cute rom-com. But sometimes we don't get what we want, so that's fine.
It was very interesting. So, like I had mentioned, each like chapter is like set in a different way. So, like it will be like the dream house as a murder mystery, or like the dream house as a play your own or choose your own adventure thing. And so like it was really fun that they kept switching it up. I thought it was also interesting like the use of like second person versus first person. Like I think I was noticing like it would always be you if it was like the past, like during the abusive relationship time, versus like I during the current, like her writing the book time period. And so that was interesting. Just like trying to like separate herself from like who she was during that time period, which I thought was really cool. Throughout the book there are all these like notations and stuff like that, like footnotes referencing all these other things. So like you can clearly tell that the author spent a lot of time on this and like really creating this like perfect thing. And even like the forward or like the afterward, when she's talking about just like there's not a lot of like discussions about like queer abuse and stuff like that, like in domestic like relationships and stuff. And so like I think it was very important. I think it was a good read, if you're thinking like analytically and like logically about like how the prose is written and all that.
The last book, which I actually haven't finished yet, is And They Lived. Unfortunately, I just ran out of time, so I haven't finished it yet, but I will be working to finish it before June is over. I can give you my quick summary of my opinions so far, but basically we're like following our main character, who is like a Disney obsessed kid. They are starting college. We haven't really gotten to like the start of the romance yet from where I'm at, but so far I don't know, I'm enjoying it. It's like a cute, quirky, like coming of age story. I am liking the main character so far, and so I hope that continues. And yeah, I guess I'll see what occurs in the rest of the book, and I will recap my final thoughts on this in my June wrap-up video, since I will not have time to wrap this up before this video goes out. So those are all of the books that I was reading to recreate the pride flag. I read a total of, well, like 10 and a half currently books to fulfill each of the colors so that I could recreate the pride flag. I would say overall I had too high of expectations for some of the books, unfortunately, and there were definitely some like books that knocked it out of the park that I would definitely suggest. If you have any other fun, cool recommendations, please leave them down below. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe down below as well. And until next time, keep reading!